Hey, very, very good afternoon, and everyone watching us. We welcome you to our AntWalk Thought Academy initiatives. In this academy, our aim is to speak to industry experts, industry leaders who are operating as thought leaders, and they come here and share with us their immense experience, their immense knowledge, all about in the learning and development industry. At AntWalk Thought Academy, we've also started a global platform where creator economy meets enterprise learning. And we are aiming to build a community of leaders like Sanjay, whom we have today, and I'm going to introduce Sanjay as well, and many such thought leaders who are actually coming here and sharing quick, actionable insights on common challenges encountered by professionals. The idea here is to learn from the best practices which our thought leaders have actually experienced and practiced out in the real world. So we welcome Sanjay for this great conversation which we are going to have about L&D. Before we move into that, I think it's going to be very important for me to introduce Sanjay. So we have Sanjay Jha, who is a CHRO and a Senior Vice President Business Development at Mahindra First Choice Wheels. Sanjay comes with an immense 28 years of experience in metallurgical, chemical, telecom, and automobile industries in the operations side of it. He's also experienced in TQM, Six Sigma, and PPM implementation and HR and business development. He's also a metallurgical engineer and he comes with major certifications at ACC level coach ICF, Six Sigma Black Belt, and he's also undergone a GPMD program where he is being trained by Michigan and Harvard professors and also by McKinsey. So we welcome you, Sanjay Jha, to this extremely wonderful conversation which we are going to have with you. So
Thank you.
warm
Thanks a
welcome,
lot.
Sanjay.
Pleasure.
Great. So Sanjay, we begin with, and there is this lot of questions which we have around professionals building their skill sets, performing in their roles. So with that in mind, my first question is, what is your opinion on L&D's role beyond building skills and preparing people for specific roles? Yeah. So I would
Yeah,
like to really hear from you. What is that you think about this, and what does the role of an L&D is beyond just building skills?
right. So let me tell you, learning and growth, they are like inhaling and exhaling. They are, both sides of the same coin, as they say. Uh, and learning is much, much beyond training or classroom training program. Uh, Learning is all about, taking pause uh, and doing the self reflection and understanding, developing the understanding what is going on well, what is not going on well, how to kind of do the course correction, and how to move on with the learning with all humbleness, so to speak. Uh, so that sense, learning and development from organizational standpoint enables an organization in multiple ways, so to speak. It actually helps in creating very, very powerful employee value proposition. It helps building great brand. Uh, it helps kind of doing uh, or creating the value based culture, so to speak. Uh, it also helps in today's time in giving confidence to your employees that uh, we are there to reskill you, upskill you, and thereby take care of your employability, so to speak. So that way, actually, learning and development function has much bigger role than to just ticking the box.
Agree, Sanjay. I think beautifully put up, and I really like this element where you're speaking about that. it gives so much of confidence to employees that we are here to upskill you, reskill you, and keep that confidence on to maintain employability. I think very, very important point. And yes, I think that's clearly a role which L&D plays just beyond building skills and imparting training programs. So Sanjay, thanks so much. I think that's a great input for all those who are going to listen to us and hear after also hear this interview later. So let's move on to the next very interesting question again. That how can L&D help organizations build a culture of continuous learning? Because I think you in your 28 years of vast experience, you would have come across this point where continuous learning is a need of the hour in every
Yeah.
organization. There's a struggle also in this area, but I think L&D is evolving and has evolved so much that the focus on continuous learning is really very high. So I would like to hear from you to understand how can L&D help organizations build this culture of continuous learning? And firstly, why do you think this is important?
Yeah. So let me tell you, first of all, two corrections. I have
Hmm.
not more than 32 years of experience.
Oh,
And
okay.
second correction is, I mean, though not so, I mean, big thing, but then I have upgraded myself to PCC level coach now. Not,
Okay,
I'm
lovely.
not, yeah. Well, so I always believed that, life is discontinuous. That is the characteristic feature of life. And we have been experiencing the discontinuity uh, of organizational life, so to speak, of late, very frequently, thanks to technology and thanks to many other variables, so to speak. Because of that, things are changing at a very fast pace, so to speak. Uh, we often say that we are always on treadmill, so to speak. Okay,
Right.
and we are living in volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous world where you are not certain about, what is going to happen in the future. In this type of world, and by the way, it is not scary for me because as I said in the beginning itself, I always believe that life itself is this. So we need to submit ourselves to the school of, to the university of life and keep learning every moment. As Dr. Ramcharan would say uh, uh, in his famous book Attacker's Advantage, that we all need to develop great perceptual acuity. Okay, we all need to be alert, not for any danger, but for sensing the changes happening around us, and be flexible, adaptable, and kind of uh, learning new things, aligning ourselves to what is happening outside our sort of our system, and not allowing ourselves to become irrelevant. If you look at my journey, I moved from operations to TQM to HR, and these things kept happening. Life kept happening to me. In fact, what I did, I humbly kind of accepting them and kept learning in continuous manner. Now, so far, the culture of continuous learning for an organization is concerned, it must start right from the top. What is culture, after all? In a very simple manner, culture is nothing but the first of all the attitude, the beliefs of the top management teams, which get percolated, and becomes the collective belief of any organization. That is how organization function. That becomes the value, boundary system, so to speak, of any organization. That culture provides the uniqueness, so to speak, the differentiating factor in the marketplace. Now that said, if you kind of decode continuous learning a bit more, continuous learning calls for keep on challenging your own assumptions, not considering anything as a sacred cause, so to speak, and not challenging just, you know, which are, so to speak, which have not been challenged earlier, but also, so-called uh, gospel things. Okay, and you have to see everything in the context of present. Uh, for that, it is important that you should not develop the culture of only classroom training program. There should be culture of uh, allowing people to fail, doing multiple experimentations, but necessarily learn from everything, every experience. As CK Prahlad will say that if you have not learned anything through your success, it is not a success. And if you have learned from your failure, it's not a failure, it's actually success. Okay. So
Correct.
learning takes you actually, learning provides you that fuel to move forward. So continuous learning, as I see, uh, should be nurtured uh, as a facilitated, or should be facilitated by the senior management or
Mm-hmm.
the managers of particular employees, through various things, by encouraging the employee concerned to consume certain content, but also by allowing that person concerned to reflect on
Hmm.
what went well, what needs improvement, and then having a kind of, coach like inquisitiveness, so to speak. What is stopping that person? Where he is stuck? Okay, and what must happen so that the person can move ahead in the life? That is
Right.
how we can build the culture of continuous learning. Goes without saying that for learning purpose, you need to have content library. You need to have, your manager should be involved. Uh, the whole learning effort should be kind of well connected with the growth journey of the organization. Okay, uh, but then continuous learning should not confine only to training program. It should empower people to challenge every assumption, everything, okay, and help organization to grow collectively, and also help people to grow. So that is what I would like to say about continuous
Correct.
learning
Correct.
culture.
Sanjay, I think very valid point. And yes, L&D plays a very vital role
Right.
in building this culture. Yes, I think it's very clear and very evident. And also, what I heard from you is you're saying that it's not only the L&D, but also the entire management, the organization need to, plan for a continuous learning approach and methods that can be absolutely aligned with the growth of people. Because if this is what is offered, I think continuous learning can be uh, accepted very well by learners, by
True.
employees, and it
True.
can be a huge success. And
If you
Ellen
permit
is,
us, sorry. Yeah,
yeah,
please
yes,
go.
please.
Yeah.
Nay, please, Sanjay, please.
So, see, let me tell you, the kind of space we are in. I mean, we are in used car space. We are auto tech company. This space is unstructured, ambiguous, not kind of, charted, not charted much, so to speak. Okay.
Yeah.
So in this kind of environment, nobody can say that I am the expert, so to speak. Okay, everybody is learner.
Learner.
Everybody is trying to understand. We all are uh, in the same, I mean, groping in the dark. I mean, if I say so, but trying to find that light at the end of the tunnel. So, in this kind of environment, especially, manager must act as a coach to promote the continuous learning.
Right.
Manager can't claim that I know more than you. Manager can at best show the inquisitiveness, dance in the moment during conversations,
Right. No,
allow
very.
the person, encourage the person concerned to tell,
Yes.
to reflect, and so that collectively organized can learn and become a learning organization.
Absolutely. No, extremely important, very vital. I agree with you, Sanjay. With that, let me just move on to the next question, which is again a very, very important one. And of course, your inputs are going to be very, very valuable to us here.
Yeah,
So here, my question, Sanjay, is that L&D is very, very important in an organization, plays a very vital role to support the entire learning and development in an organization. However, there are a lot of changing needs, right? The needs keep changing of people continuously depending on what stage you are in the organization.
right,
So my question is, Sanjay, how can L&D programs, yeah, the programs which L&D runs, how can these programs adapt to the changing needs and preferences of the modern workforce, especially considering that it's a Gen Z era, right? So how can L&D actually step up this game and adapt to the changing needs and preferences and curate programs that can actually impact, have a right learning impact in life of every employee?
right, right. So, what has changed? Let us discuss that. If you see, thanks to technology, the speed of work has accelerated.
Yes.
The volume of work has actually increased multifold, I would say. And people would, you know, they would creep. They would say that, I don't have time. And their managers, they would say that, you know, we don't have time to send our people for 8 hours or 6 hours training program, or even assign them some 3 hours, 4 hours e-learning program. The bandwidth, people's sort of attention bandwidth, that has kind of reduced like anything. So what is important, that we should develop the course contents which are bite size, not more than 5 minutes
Mm-hmm.
long, which are interesting, uh, and which are engaging. Moreover, organizations are going through very fierce competition because of various reasons,
Hmm.
and uh, management would always say that, what is the need to kind of have a big fat training and development budget. So
Hmm.
the change need which the L&D should align itself is that our each and every program should be in line with the top line or the bottom line enhancement of a company. So L&D professional should have good business sense, that what my organization is actually uh, uh, driving for. Is it the growth of the organization which is really important? Is it the bottom line, or customer satisfaction, or what else? Okay, and bulk of the training programs should be completely in line. Moreover, reskilling and upskilling, they are the order of the day. Okay, because the way things are changing at breakneck speed. Okay, so you know this new training need has become very, very important. Skill uh, half life has reduced, or reducing, like any like anything, I would say, like any radioactive material, if I exaggerate a bit. Okay, that is how the half life of skill is kind of reducing. So we must kind of create and curate content, keeping
Correct.
all these things in mind. Then
Correct.
hybrid mode is today the
Mhm.
most optimal mode of working. So how can we kind of design learning and development program which are modular in nature, or maybe we can think that, okay, after finishing the e-learning modular program, everybody can come to office for wrapping up things. So such kind of things. So L&D should first of all understand the business requirements, and then innovatively try to kind of create the contents, the delivery mechanism, and the learner's experience. aligned with that. So that's my take.
Right. I think yes, very well said. What I hear from you is that the most important element which you're talking about here is that programs should be aligned with the business matrix. I think if
Yes,
that's done, the program will make absolute sense to the employees, to the top management, and the success of that program will be at a very higher rate. So I think I
correct.
totally like Sanjay your view on this, and I think that's extremely important to align it with the business matrix. Wonderful. So I think let's move on to the next part where I would like to hear your views more about. There has been this, lot of we hear from our clients that we see a lot of mindset gap in employees where the growth mindset is still setting in, right? A lot of employees don't still have the growth mindset culture in them. So my next question is that how can L&D professionals design programs that can foster this growth mindset, or rather support employees in developing new skills and competencies in them? Not very, it should not be like, because I am an operations person, I must just know A of operations. There could be B, C, D, E, F, G, Z, right? So how is, as LD professionals, we can design programs that can foster the growth mindset and also support employees to learn new skills and competencies? Sanjay, love to hear your thoughts on this. Sanjay, I think you're on mute, Sanjay.
Sorry.
Yes.
Uh, so let me tell you that I would like us to design the L&D programs using 3E approach: education, exposure, and experience approach.
Okay.
Education is all about various kind of training programs,
Yes.
uh, and it could be classroom training, 6 hours training program, or bite-sized program, 5 minutes program. But then this apart, it is important that employees should be exposed to coaching and mentoring.
Hmm.
Uh, in today's time, coaching, especially maybe I am because PCC certified coach, so I have a bias for that. But I have actually experienced the power of coaching. Uh, because in today's this fast-paced age, when human brain is not able to adapt itself, most of the people they are not able to adapt themselves to this fast-paced, so to speak, world. It is very important for us to expose them to coaching kind of conversation where a trained person can help the coachee concerned to explore where one is stuck.
Hmm.
What are the things available to him? Okay. And how can he move from the level of the noisy world, okay, of who said what, when it was said, where it was said, to what are my beliefs and values coming in the way, and what is the purpose of my life, who am I at present, and who I want to become. Okay, so that type of awakening conversation would help people to understand it is my journey. Okay, instead of reacting to any external stimuli, I should ask myself why I am behaving the way I am behaving. Okay, and then building capabilities accordingly. Okay, so this is one. And then second thing is putting people to actual action. The
Hmm.
best way to learn is put people, tell them that just plunge in water, okay, and kind of learn how to swim, okay, and I am there to support you. So this three approach is very, very powerful approach, but this approach should be very carefully crafted. Okay, we must understand the need of individual. It must be designed in personalized manner. Okay, and my personal belief is that everybody is sitting on gold mines. Okay, if you see my LinkedIn uh, tagline, it is molding metal to molding men. Okay,
Yes.
so as a metallurgist also, uh, I all knew that you just remove the gangue material, the dirt material, and then you will get the sort of the ore from the mineral. Similarly, I believe that if you help remove the dirt of their beliefs, their self-imposed limitation, people can kind of realize their true potential and become and high performers of this. Okay, it is leadership responsibility. It is the responsibility of L&D professionals to help people to become aware and align their L&D learning and development journey with the growth, giving sense that your growth and company's growth, they are aligned. When you self-actualize yourself, you contribute maximum to the growth of the organization.
All right. Sanjay, I think very important element you've brought in here of the three E's, that yes, if you have your programs designed following the three E approach, which you just called out, I think that's going to be very contextual and very supportive for employees to actually start building new skills and competencies. So yes, I think this makes absolutely very important point from your end. And I think I also like you one part which you just mentioned, that let them even get an experience, let them action this whatever they are learning in the flow of work, so that they can actually experience the real benefits of it. So I think that's a very very important point you've brought up, Sanjay. With that, I'm just moving on to the next one, and this is a very very interesting one. I think this is something to do with what's happening today, right? It's a time of AI, and with so many AI tools coming in, and so much talk about the artificial intelligence world, I'm sure there is L&D in the L&D side as well. There is a need of adapting to this, right? So my question to you is that how L&D professionals can leverage data analytics, because when we run programs, it's just not doing a training program, it's actually knowing the learner and understanding their needs and delivering right programs for their needs, and also measuring the impact of that particular program, right? So there's a lot of data which L&D professionals have at their end. So how L&D professionals can leverage this data analytics and use artificial intelligence to personalize learning experience, and definitely have a better outcome or an improved outcome. So what's your view on this, Sanjay, and what are your thoughts about how L&D professionals can maximize this?
Yeah. Well, so I mean, that way, actually, technology has empowered us in many ways, so to speak. Uh,
True.
and you know, thanks to technology, we are in a position to give the kind of experience to our employees, which we have been always kind of thinking and giving to our customers. So, see, data mining and data analytics can help us understand the learner's need in much better manner. Whether one is comfortable learning through visuals or audio or through kinesthetics or by kind of actually uh, being in the action. This could be one sort of data.
Hmm.
uh, Other data could be that one is comfortable learning by sparing time, or would like to learn, as you said, while working, being in the moment, being in the flow, working while learning and learning while working. uh, then what could be what are the like future needs of individuals or organizations. Okay, and accordingly, and also analyzing that what individual is good at and what one is not good at, and accordingly recommending the particular programs, creating or curating, the contents, creating the pathways, so to speak. Okay, uh, by pulling sort of training content from various sources, or creating training contents. So these are the massive work which manually is not possible. There, artificial intelligence and machine learning, they are actually helping us a lot.
Hmm.
And L&D should actually leverage as much as possible to create the personalized uh, experience, so to speak, uh, to create more and more engagement, more and more sort of need-based, I would say, recommendation for uh, consuming particular type of contents. So these things are possible only through technology. And how can we leverage this technology to help people unleash their potential, to improve themselves? That is the, I would say, very pious responsibilities of L&D folks. Okay, yeah. Did I answer your question?
Yes, Sanjay, absolutely. I think uh, what you are intending to say that data analytics is extremely important, and it actually gives us a full picture view about what is happening post a learning intervention is delivered. So yes, leveraging data analytics is extremely important from that perspective. And yes, artificial intelligence is here to make our life simpler, because it enables L&D professionals to actually understand need based requirements very
Yeah,
well, customize those requirements, right? And can various tools can be used to nudge and develop this continuous learning approach, right?
yeah,
So, Sanjay, I think very well. I've got some great insights and great inputs from you through this conversation, and some of them is extremely contextual to today's L&D journey, which organizations are at and professionals are at. And one thing which I take away from this conversation is, which you just said, that everybody should have an opportunity while, when they are learning while working and working while learning. I think if
yeah.
L&D professionals are game to meet this sweet spot, I think learning is going to be much more acceptable, right, by professionals as well. So,
Yes,
Sanjay, thank you so much for your time today, and
great
have
pleasure.
had a great conversation, a lot of insights with the vast experience you carry, and you took time to share all that you could today with us. And we thank you so much for your time, and you have a
Thanks a
lovely
lot.
day. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for having me.